Yeah. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. Swap it in the decks, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain Revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity. Flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain Revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gon' end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain Revolution, here to stay. Yeah, Sam Sage, man. Odin too, on the way. Yeah, Nicky's. Yeah, OnChain Revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain Revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, change. Yeah, send it to the deck. Yeah, sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin and crypto ecosystems. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the Ordinal Hour, OnChain Hour, and today is going to be absolutely amazing, guys, because we have so much to go over. Yesterday, Jerome Powell was speaking. We thought it was 11, and it ended up being 1:30. We were really confused about it because everyone was reporting it earlier, but he had some really awesome stuff to say about crypto. Really good stuff. He did say stagflation, which is not good. It is not good. But the S&P and the Dow dropped hard yesterday. I mean, they lost like a couple $1 trillion in value. Today they're down again. S&P is kind of flat. They're kind of flat today. They did have a run up on some words that Trump was talking this morning about potentially getting some deals done, but then they're kind of fell back down here. Bitcoin doesn't really care. Bitcoin's hanging out 84,000. We do know that we have a holiday, Sunday's Easter here in the US. So I'll be thinking a lot of people are just like kind of hanging out. They're not really doing anything right now, but markets are very, very sideways. And I think that's okay. It's a nice little reset for us here. Volatility is kind of, not doing anything. We're kind of the opposite of that. So it's going to be different. It's going to be different for the next couple of days, but I think this is a really good opportunity for people to lock in. People that are locked in now are going to be the ones who are successful 6 to 8 months from now. I mean, it's all about conviction. It's all about finding the opportunities and really doubling down on them. And you have an opportunity to do that right now. But we have a great show for you guys today. Let's get this started. Bringing my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? How are you feeling? Everything's real sideways. S&P's down yesterday. The Dow was down yesterday, but Bitcoin just sideways.
I'm fine with it. Because I keep remembering that M2 money supply chart that with Bitcoin layered on top, and we're kind of supposed to be in this like a little bit of a consolidation period, right? Kind of works out to that May 1st, right? That timeline. I'm okay if we jump up $5,000, pull back 2, jump up another 5, and then eventually hit stride. I'm not worried. I looking at that chart, I feel very confident. we know where we're heading in the next 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I have something for you a little later, but Raoul Paul has his own version of that chart. And he says within days, he says, so Colin talks crypto, his chart is between 12 and 15 weeks. Raoul Paul has a chart. I'm going to show it in a little bit, and it's saying go time. It's saying go time is now. So we'll see. We'll actually compare them in a little bit and kind of see which one that we think is going to happen, because one of them's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, right? So. All right, let's
Exactly.
kind of get into yesterday's headlines. President Trump says Fed Chair Jerome Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. He wants him out of there because today the European Central Bank reduced its key deposit rate by 25 basis points to 2.25, making it the 7th cut within a year. Today, the U.S. Federal Reserve target range is at 4.25. So we're at 4.25. They're at 2.25. Trump says he wants Powell out. I mean,
I don't know how I feel about this, because we know that Powell can dictate the market basically on through his tone of his voice, right? Because people are trying to speculate on sentiment through how he's speaking, right? And so if there is something that like he feels like he can do just by sounding hawkish to kind of get back, tit for tat situation, we don't want that. Especially if this like money supply situation is happening, we want to kind of supercharge that situation. So hope there's not a lot of like bad blood that comes out of this, but Trump is Trump. He's going to say what he says, and he's not going to back down from that. So I just hope this kind of rhetoric just gets pushed back a little bit. We already have the trade wars to deal with. We have some other stuff to deal with. Now let us enjoy some of these positive catalysts that are coming.
Yeah, 100%. And yesterday he came out. He said stagflation. Stagflation is basically inflation that just doesn't go away. It's just stagnant, right? That's not good for markets, because that means he's not going to cut rates. And right now, Polymarket actually users predict 88% chance that the Fed keeps the rates the same when they meet in May. So we have a Fed meeting in about, I want to say, about 16, 17 days from right now, and they're predicting 88% chance of Fed not doing anything. It's a 52% chance of a cut in June, so that's okay. But Trump, I mean, do you think Trump can do anything here to kind of force Jerome's hand in cutting rates maybe a little sooner?
Well, I think saying that they're ready to replace him isn't helping. Wanting him out of there as fast as possible is not going to help him. It's not going to push Powell to do it. Look, what was the percentage of this like a week ago? Do you remember what the percentage
40
May was?
I think it was in the 60s. It was in the 60s.
Okay, so that's a pretty big significant jump up, going up about 20% because of this feud. I'm sure that's why people are feeling this way, right? And yeah, the stagflation is kind of where we're going to be, but that's also, we know why that's happening, right? It's because prices are going to change, prices are going to go up, and so we'll see how it plays out. But he also talked about how, and this was before the trade war got more aggressive, but he said it was already kind of baked in. But now it seems like he's like, well, didn't realize it's this aggressive. We're probably going to see a little bit more rocky times in the short term.
Yeah, and it went up a little bit more. Now it's 89. So this could be 99 by next week. Honestly, I don't think there's going to be any type of change. I think it's an easy bet right now to take that. Yeah, just can't see him doing it. But while he was talking yesterday, 1.5 trillion wiped out of U.S. Stock market. Bitcoin didn't care. Bitcoin said, go down. We don't care. We dropped a little bit in the 83s, but it's been between 83 and 85 now. It feels like for like 2-3 weeks. So.
Exactly. That's the biggest positive I think we can take out of this, is that Bitcoin is showing true strength. And I haven't seen people use the D word with coupling in it recently, which is good. Guys, don't use that, because I feel like every time we start to say that, like the weekend after, we're just like, never mind, it's too early. But the signs are looking good, right? Like, I mean, strength is there. That is for sure.
Yeah.
And we know that gold is obviously looking really strong right now. So this is another good sign, because it's kind of like the speculation, or now we feel like it's past speculation that Bitcoin is this good store of value, and it's going to be like the next version of gold. Well, having characteristics of what gold's doing right now, not to the extent, because gold is still the OG, and there's OGs that have a lot of money, and that's what they know. But it's starting to show that strong foundation to where when the stock market is not good, it's volatile, gold's being stable. So that, or sorry, Bitcoin's being stable.
100% agree. Big Bitcoin stable, gold's up, stocks are down. Stocks are more volatile than Bitcoin right now, but there's a few reasons why Bitcoin did stay sideways yesterday. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell says crypto is becoming more mainstream and legal framework for stablecoins is a good idea. He also says that he thinks there will be loosening of banks' rules on crypto. This is really good. I mean, this is Jerome Powell, the Fed, really coming in and basically saying here that we're okay with banks adding crypto type of custody, type of borrowing and lending and all types of stuff. So we'll see what happens here. But Jerome is on board. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's a good sign for sure. And this is signs of that financial reset a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because we were even talking towards the end of last year after the election had been decided, or heading into that there was still memos going to regional banks and that are part of the central banking system, and saying, hey, don't be pushing or talking about Bitcoin and crypto through the all these things. That got caught, and then now it's kind of inevitable, right? It's like, hey, look, this is the new system. This is what's happening. And so this is the first sign, is whenever the Fed, central banks say, okay, let's just now figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to handle this, because it's here. It's not going away.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Jerome Powell says markets will probably see continued volatility. So that's not good. And then he says, the job market is in a really good place. We saw jobless claims came out today. Again, I mean, they're projected 230. It came out at 215,000 claims. Still lower than projected every single week. I mean, we're at like an all-time low for jobless claims, and inflation's dropping. I don't know. It's just there's no reason for them to cut rates.
Yeah, and you're a bit surprised a little bit, because then you see headlines, and I think these are a little bit more exaggerated headlines of these manufacturers or brands in the U.S. saying, hey, because of the tariffs, we're laying off this many and this many people. It's not being really seen in the unemployment numbers, right? So I think the next month or 2 months is really going to give us a clear, hey, look, the tariffs aren't affecting the unemployment numbers, which would be, in my opinion, a really good sign, because now these companies are stating that, hey, look, we can still employ our staff and all these things. We'll figure it out. So
Yeah, do you think that there's a possibility of like bigger companies hiring because they're seeing more work that's going to be coming from overseas, coming into these US companies? I mean, especially factories like places I worked at, there were job shops, right? Where, these jobs would come in from other places. It was contracts, right? And I think there's a lot of types of job places like that where, contracts are now coming to America.
Yeah. And that's a great point, because I do agree with you that this could be a huge opportunity for those temp companies. You might see some new startup temp companies again,
Yeah.
because some of these corporations, they know what's happening. They know what they have to deal with in terms of this transition. But in the back of their mind, they're probably like, okay, is this going to last 4 years? Because, we have midterms. How does that change it? And then after 4 years, what happens? Right. And I think if it's established within the next 3-4 years that this is what this works, manufacturing certain things works here, even if it changes hands, if the country's happy with the way things are going, that new party doesn't want to just gut that if it's making the economy better, right? So but the temp companies have that opportunity, in my opinion, because now they're kind of still, they need more convincing. So once you get to year 2, year 3 of this term and it's working, I think that's whenever temp companies probably pull back in terms of necessity, and then more permanent hiring would happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%, man. And you got to think of how many undocumented people came in their country over the last, year or so. Maybe get those people to work. I mean, we're not allowed to kick them out. We might as well get them to work, right? So I don't know. I don't know what to do with that situation, but it's kind of like, I think there's a lot of jobs about to be opened up in the US. I'm already seeing it. I'm already seeing the help wanted signs come back. or a lot of different stores and stuff that I go to. So we'll see. Trump is scheduled to speak today at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know what's going to happen with that. It could be some news, maybe. I don't know, but we'll see. Just want to keep you guys on your toes with that one. So this is actually massive here. Crypto super PACs outspent Wall Street, big oil, and big pharma in the 2024 election. Crypto
Wild.
is the the top echelon provider in money right now to these congressmen, and that's why we're getting, I think, in my opinion, we're getting constantly getting bills for Bitcoin reserve and all this stuff, because all these congressmen and all these representatives, they see potentially, hey, if I am pro crypto, these super PACs are going to help my campaign when it's time. Dude, this is so bullish for crypto.
It is. I didn't expect this. I knew that they
Yeah.
were very, present in terms of
Yeah.
being, funding and stuff. But the one that shocks me the most is Big Pharma got outspent,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, how much money do they make? I mean, they got to be making tons of money, and
Yeah.
they're all about influence and stuff like that. So the fact that crypto super PACs outspent all these industries is, to me, is wild. I'm actually shocked right now to read this.
So this is all excluding as well these dark pools that we know
Yeah.
about, right? Where you can funnel money into these campaigns and stuff like that. Like,
Cheat.
that's not
Yeah.
documented, right? It's cheating. It is what it is, right?
Mhm.
But out in the front, out in the open, crypto is the biggest provider of funds to these congressmen, presidents, and representatives. So
Yeah, the NGOs, I think, is what you're talking about a little bit, right? How they
yeah,
get set up and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll see. This one's big. Russian finance ministry calls to create its own crypto stablecoin. So this solves all their problems, right? I don't understand why they just didn't do this 4 years ago. Create their own stablecoin in Russia. Let everything run on the crypto rails, right? Maybe even get your own type of blockchain. We do know that Russia is very centralized already. So I mean, having a centralized stablecoin or CBDC is right up their alley, especially when they got cut off from SWIFT. This could, I mean, our cut, what we did to Russia and use the SWIFT banking system against them could have been the greatest thing that ever happened to them, because now they have to find other ways to just keep their system alive. And a crypto stablecoin is probably the number one way to do that.
Yeah, they've probably been trying to figure out a way to utilize blockchain and crypto for a while, because the sanctions have been used, has been a big part of the U.S. government's like tool set of weapons, right, against countries that don't comply. And so that's the whole idea behind BRICS. I believe that's why they started that, was to be able to work around. But I mean, you're talking about Bitcoin and settling oil purchases in Bitcoin as well, right? So it makes sense. This is the evolution of that next step for them.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine, everyone gets a debit card, their banks, instead of using the SWIFT system, they're using blockchain. They're all using blockchain. The banks using blockchain, the stores using blockchain. You swipe your card, it's stable coins go out into go from one to the other. Everything's done through the back end. Everyone doesn't even know they're using stable coins. They're just swiping away, and they see their account. I mean, but the stable coins are being used in the back end. I think that's where every country is going eventually. I think the SWIFT banking system is probably dead if they don't move to a stable coin or a blockchain type of product anyway.
Yeah, which I do agree. I think they will move to that, to not completely be, disassembled and become legacy. And so what does that look like? I'm not sure, but one thing here's another thing you have to think about, because the SWIFT system is, kind of that like G7 type of like big weapon that I just talked about, right? So you have the EU, you have like Australia and all those countries that say we're going to use SWIFT if there's a country that the UN says is not, or cumulative, they agree that they're not doing good, then they can sanction. Now this changes, and I don't think that even if the SWIFT does change over to blockchain, it's just like we're having this world change, to where it's just, I just don't see it being weaponized as much anymore yet, until maybe a new system is created through this.
I mean, if SWIFT moves to blockchain, all you got to do is forget Right? I mean, that's what we do here, right? I mean, you just figure out the code and you rewrite it, you copy paste it. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
but I think it's more about like countries that will comply, right? So it's like, okay, you can fork this Swift if it goes on the blockchain, but then what countries are going to say, okay, we'll use that with you? Probably not the EU. If we
Well,
had our current system, they won't be like, okay, we can just do our oil and gas transactions through over here and not tell our other allies about it, right?
well,
But
I mean, think about it in the sense of doing it on ETH or doing it on Cardano. There's bridges that are built, right?
yeah.
So that's the thing. I mean, yeah, maybe some countries don't want to play on the same system. You don't have to with crypto because we've already invented things like bridges and wrap tokens and so on and so on. So
Yeah, imagine Swift getting exploited though. Oh,
yeah,
that'd be
that would be
like
pretty wild. It'd be pretty wild. I think that's
horrible.
the one reason why we're not seeing the stuff already is the exploits and the hacks and all that stuff. So
Trillions of dollars.
yeah, for sure. All right. So this is the talking point of the show, guys. If you made it this far, you're in for a treat because I'm excited about this part. So Raoul Powell is somebody that I highly respect. I definitely think everyone should really pay attention to what he says. He's usually right. So I just want to read this real quickly. He says, I know many of you want to see the updated version of the BTC versus global M2 chart. Here it is. Just a very small part of the weekly macro investing tool MIT as part of the RV. So that's something that he does. But he said it's time. Give or take a few days. So his chart is different than Colin. So we've been covering Colin Talks Crypto's chart for a while here. So this chart is a 12-week lead, right? So this is kind of, I mean, dude, this is even closer than Colin's. I'm gonna show Colin's in a second. But like look how perfect the 12-week lead is over Colin's 15-week lead. So when I'm talking about the lead, I'm talking about this white is the M2 money supply. And what they did was they just took it backwards 12 weeks in this situation. And you can see the Bitcoin price is pretty much, I mean, tied to this. I mean, almost identically, besides this little bit here and this little bit here. What do you think about this chart?
It looks a little similar to the other one, right? What was the different lead on Collins?
All right, well, let's
The
take a look at
length?
that. Yeah, so Colin actually comments on this, which is funny. And he goes, in my opinion, a global M2 offset of 108 days, 15.4 weeks, is more accurately correlated to the Bitcoin than the 10 or 11 weeks. Mathematically, visually, see the chart. So this is Colin's version. So Colin's version is what we've been looking at as well here. But what do you think of this? So Colin's actually saying that we're going to be sideways here for at least another 2 weeks before movement, while Raoul Powell is saying we're here, we're set, we're done. Few days.
Well, we're gonna find out in a few days, right? Right. I mean,
But I
like,
want to know now. I want to know now.
yeah. This is good because we're gonna be able to figure out who's right here over the weekend,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with going sideways for 2 weeks. I know that seems like in our space, like 2 weeks is like 2 months, but like if that's all we gotta do, we get to May 1st. What would suck is if both are wrong. But yeah. So look, if this seems okay, this chart is worst case scenario, right? Out of both. And so
Yeah, I mean,
worst case
it's still
scenario
saying
is
144K Bitcoin in August.
yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is worst case scenario is sideways until May 1st. Next 2 weeks, I'll take it. If Raoul Paul's correct, that means that's a bonus cherry on top the next couple of days. But we're gonna find out really soon. So to me, this is win-win situation, right? Either I'm gonna be really happy over the weekend, or I'm going to say, okay, well, I gotta
Enjoy
wait
your
another week and a half.
family. I'll wait a week, right? I'll enjoy the holiday. I'll enjoy everything. Next week being an easy week, right? So, and then boom, we start flying as May hits. So buy in May and go away. That's what this chart's telling me.
Exactly.
Right? But I don't know, man. I really like looking. Like yesterday, I was just going back and forth. This one just looks so much more accurate. so much more accurate. It's just,
That
it
one
does.
it's because that one is going to happen in the next couple of days, and
I know.
you're impatient, and you just want that.
No.
You want
But
that
seriously,
bullishness.
look at this. Just look at this lines here. Look how perfect that is, right? Like, it is perfect. Like, and then, yeah, I mean, come on, you can't deny the fact of how close that is.
Yeah, the other one looks close too, right?
Not as close. So you see a little bit of turbulence here, right? There's turbulence, you know. I mean, it's I mean, we're talking 2 weeks, right? So you're just moving it a little bit. But
Yeah. It looks almost kind of like a yes, it follows it, but with a little bit of inverse. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like a little bit higher or a little bit lower, depending on the thing. But both,
So this is the
I
difference
like
right
both
here.
of them. Yeah.
This spot right here is the difference. So on Raoul's, this is back here, right? And on his, you had that little bit of right there. But then right here matches up perfectly, while Raoul Powell's has a little bit of the deviation right here, right? So that's where the deviation, it's perfect here, then deviation. But on Colin's, it's actually perfect here and then deviation here.
Yeah. The good thing is you don't see a huge discrepancy in terms of
Yeah.
it over a long period of time. So the data that you can take from this is they stay close to each other, right? With Bitcoin being the lag behind. So
100%. But either way, we're going to 140,000 in August. So either way, I'm completely fine with either or. But I can't wait to get here. I mean, this is going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing when you just ramp up here in August. But guys, it's going to be a good summer. You got a lot of people, a lot of metrics, and the fact that we come out here every single day, like today. Jerome Powell saying the banking system's opening up to crypto. Russia about to have a stable coin. We're talking about bridging tokens to the Russian blockchain, right? I mean, things are looking so positive. How can you possibly be negative right now when there's so much positive news and correlation with the M2 money supply? I am so excited for the next 2 months here, guys.
yes.
Really excited.
Yeah. This is strong data.
Yeah, that was fun. All right. So Binance CEO Richard Tang, I hope I said that right, says the cryptocurrency exchange is now advising multiple governments on crypto regulation and national Bitcoin reserves. It really can't get any more bullish than this. Like, I don't understand. Think about
I
this.
wonder. Yeah, I wish they would put a list out and be like, okay, we have
It's
like
probably,
contracts with this country,
it's
that country,
probably
all these
like
things.
these countries don't want to get front ran, right? So
Yeah.
it's probably like, hey, like, yeah, like, don't say that, we're Colombia, or don't say we're Brazil, or don't say we're Venezuela, right? So, but we'll see.
Until they like get their initial purchases in and all that stuff and start their strategy.
100%. They talk like they're not MicroStrategy. They're not gonna pump it up before they buy, right? They're gonna buy it and then pump it up. So we should see some craziness in next few months for sure. Bitwise CIO Matt Hugin calls Q1 2025 as the worst quarter in crypto's history, but highlights 4 key catalysts that could turn crypto markets around in Q2. So this is really, really interesting. Here's the 4 catalysts that he's really calling for here. So he's calling for a rise of global money supply. We're seeing that. We're seeing the charts, boom, right? Like, got that one already. The tailwinds of regulatory relief. So QE. He's calling QE saying, hey guys, like, yeah, first quarter was shit, but QE's coming.
Oh, that sounds a little bit also like the SEC and regulatory
Yeah, you're right.
system as well to regulate the industry.
Yeah, you're right. It is more of a regulatory, like the SEC being very crypto friendly and stuff like that. Yeah, 100%. You're right there. Stablecoin summer. So the U.S. Congress is expected to pass landmark stablecoin legislation by July, creating a clear and compliant path for stablecoins and scale. So we're gonna have stablecoin summer.
What do you think of when you hear that title? What comes to your mind first?
It's gonna be a battle, man. It's gonna be a battle between Circle So I do know Swift is creating their own stablecoin. I do know that every bank is creating their own stablecoin. To me, it's just like these guys are going to battle it out and see which one's the winner, right?
Yeah,
What do you get from it?
like instantly to my mind, my brain, I think liquidity injection, and I think that because like like these stable coins, you have to have liquidity to because they're not going to if they're respected if they're respected institutions, they're not going to. Well, you can't even do it with the stablecoin regulation that got through. You can't do an algorithmic stablecoin for the first 2 years, I believe. And so that means liquidity is going to come in, whether that liquidity works its way to the playground that we play in, or if it stays, like for example, Wyoming stablecoin, I'm sure that's going to stay within like a certain confine of maybe like the cities, the more government and city type of payment stuff for residents, and then eventually like it could work its way out. Someone gets like a stipend check or something through it, and then they want to gamble or something, right? But more the bigger ones that has something to do with like maybe like something like Stripe, or like a PayPal or a Venmo or something like that, that could easily work its way back through the playgrounds that we are in.
Dude, I didn't even think about that. So when stable coins go up, everyone usually gets excited because there's an alt season coming, right? Because a lot of times too, a lot of stable coins, they go where? On Ethereum L2s, Solana, potentially someone creating a Bitcoin
smart contract, DeFi stuff.
Like, yeah, exactly. And then what happens is people are like, hey, I have these tokens here. I want to make money on them. So they go into DeFi. And then DeFi has this incredible boom. So the tokens of the DeFi platform goes up in value because they got higher TVL, which makes the chain look stronger that it's on, whether it's ETH, Solana, or whatever L2 that you're on. And so it's just a catalyst after catalyst after catalyst to really push, and it all kinds of goes back to the stablecoin summer. Dude, I'm excited.
And if you are staking stable coins and you let's say you stake like 6 figures and you feel comfortable with it and you're earning a percentage you feel comfortable with, and these people, some of them will maybe use some of that earning towards speculative plays, right? Whether that's Tau, because to them, Tau's kind of safe. Okay, let's put in the Tau. Let's put in some subnets. So this is a startup or emerging Bitcoin ecosystem stuff, right? So every new stable coin that gets created through the stablecoin summer is going to bring capital and liquidity into our overall world.
100%. The last of the 4 is digital gold renaissance. Geopolitical chaos, trade wars, capital controls, and fiat devaluations are pushing global investors to reassess their portfolios. So what do you think, man? A digital gold renaissance. I mean, we just said how stable coins could really pump Ethereum, Solana, who knows, Sui, right? But then you have this digital gold renaissance, people wanting to get further into gold. So you have the risk on, and then you have the risk off, all kind of happening at the same time, because crypto is this new thing, right? So even if things are not looking great and geopolitical chaos, I mean, you still have new innovation that's happening and can't be stopped.
In our space, even last cycle and stuff, if you remember, the people that were a bit more seasoned, they would kind of, when they were in something risky, they made profit, they would go back to Bitcoin. And we saw that kind of over the ordinals boom in late 2023 as well. And so now I think, the overall mass adoption that happens with Bitcoin, I think, the people that are wise, older investors and stuff will probably do something like that as well. They'll look at it as something to cling on and eventually, get to the point to where they trust it. Probably not as much as gold yet, but eventually it'll get more and more trust. It'll gain more and more trust.
Love it, man. Love it. All right, let's get into that Bitcoin fear and greed here, or crypto fear and greed here. So last week we were at 39. Yesterday we're at 29. So my hint for you is we're in the 30s and we're higher than yesterday's 29. Where do you think we are today? I mean, by a little bit.
31.
Pretty right there at 30.
Oh, wow.
We're just out of the 20s, barely out of the 20s, but we are. I think we see the 40s this weekend. I think we see the 50s next week. Potentially 60s next week. I'm getting really bullish here. I'm just excited, man. I'm excited about this, and I think how can you be fearful right now? Like, how can you be fearful? Like, with Powell coming out yesterday, the M2 money supply coming out, Trump being a crypto president, like, I just can't see how you can be fearful right now with the expectations, in my opinion, should be so high.
Yeah, and headlines are not like crushing Bitcoin anymore.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's just kind of like, just basically like juking all these headlines that are coming out recently
Yep.
because there's been still the trade war headlines. China's not happy,
Yep.
and US is increasing tariff percentages and all these things. Now Bitcoin's not dumping like it was off of headlines. To me, that's extremely like positive. And if Raoul Paul's correct, we could have an exciting weekend kicking off the next 2 weeks. But I'm okay if he's wrong, because I'm
Yeah.
okay chilling for the next week, up, down, because of the stability that Bitcoin's given us. And then eventually in May, start of May, let's kick things off, right?
100%, man. All right, I'm curious what Bitcoin is doing right now. Let's get into that Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura. Artura.Finance is going to be on mainnet very soon, within the next month or so. These guys are going to be doing something awesome. They're building this leverage trading platform, community ran, guys. This is like a bunch of guys, core team members getting together and just or core contributors getting together and kind of building something cool for the community. This is definitely something you guys want to be a part of, because they're actually launching on Hemi, and Hemi is backed by Binance. So what does that mean? They're going to have a token and it's going to get listed on Binance. I mean, that's what that means.
Whoa.
And how can you I mean, obviously, right? Binance doesn't neglect any of its investments. I mean, can we see that over and over? But anyway, you guys can actually get the Hemi token potentially by using Artura.Finance on mainnet, and by doing, maybe small trades, small leverage, and doing a bunch of different things. Potentially you guys could get the Hemi token on top of potentially getting the Artura token. So this is a win-win for you guys. I really want you guys to at least open an account when mainnet launched and kind of play with that, because I want our community to succeed. I want our community to be enriched, and I think that's what Artura and Hemi can do for a lot of traders. And hey, if it's something you already do, if you already leverage trade, why not just do it on a DEX that you could potentially earn on, even if you lose? It's win-win, guys. Definitely check out Artura.Finance and look for the Hemi mainnet and Artura launch very soon.
Yeah, exciting things from that team for sure. And Hemi, that's going to be a big one as well once that goes live. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, guys, help us out as you always do every single day, and we appreciate you for that. On the YouTube side, guys, smash that like for us, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On X, please share this space, as we want to educate, onboard as many people to crypto and the Bitcoin ecosystem as possible. And as well as on Abstract Stream, if you could share that stream, we would greatly appreciate it. But let me get into some Bitcoin price action, and then we'll get into some of the altcoins as well. Going to kick things off with the hour chart. If I can share my screen here. All right. And then I'm going to get into some liquidation pockets as well, because I do feel like with stability, that we've had for so much consistency with it, sometimes we'll get, thrown off every once in a while. The market makers want to go liquidity shopping. So, but we'll start off with the hour chart here, as I'm looking at Bitcoin, looking really strong in my opinion. We're sitting here at 84.6. Yesterday was pretty much chopped back and forth. Like I said, that's, unless Raoul Paul's correct, in the next couple of days, we probably will jump up aggressively. But other than that, I'm expecting the chop. That's fine. Like if we have a day that we go up, $1,500 on Bitcoin, the next day I probably expect us to pull back $1,500 or something around the same, which to me is good, especially with still having negative headlines in the news there about just the macro news here. But let's take a look here at the stochastic. So stochastic is telling us Bitcoin wants to come down a little bit, but the green candle on the hour chart is saying not ready yet. But the stochastics is a leading indicator, so I would just probably be a little bit cautious, see what happens here. We did try to go into sell pressure on the MACD. You can see this tiny red candle here, but it did reverse, and there's a tiny green candle. This is be careful territory, though, right? So if we're coming out of a buy pressure environment, which has lasted since yesterday, yesterday 4 a.m. We've been in buy pressure, haven't gone into sell pressure at all on the hour chart until about an hour ago. Now it's back to green. So I would just kind of wait and see how this plays out, right? Because in my opinion, I think we're probably going to see another small red, another green, small, and eventually one side's going to win, maybe off of, some bullish news, or, it's time just to kind of swing it back to the downside. But as you can see, the hour chart has shown us chop. It's been pretty much chopped since Tuesday. 8 p.m. Central Tuesday. Yeah, we had to rise up, but then back down and then chop the entire time. So, that's what I'm expecting. This, to me, I'll probably expect, come back down to that 84, 83.5, because we have been ranging between 82 to 85. That has been the range, right? So, just I would say be careful. Today, yes, it seems bullish. I would wait for maybe some more conviction for the second half of today. Me personally, I'm not telling you guys what to do. You guys are all adults. You can make your own decision. I just try to bring some insight that I have here. So second half today, I'm expecting chop. And, unless this turns back around, we see an aggressive large green candle on the MACD, I would say we're probably going to chop with a little bit of downside, but that is more speculative, honestly, because we got to see really where the momentum shifts, because it hasn't picked a side yet. All right, so that's the hour chart for the second half of today. The 4-hour chart actually looks beautiful. Arrivederci. I don't even know what that means, but it looks beautiful here, to where, this MACD blue leading indicator line looks curled up, right? You can also see right here, we haven't been to overbought since Saturday, right? So we're probably due to get back into this range, over the weekend or something. So, if we do chop and then eventually have opposite of what I was initially feeling with the, weak downtrend, more of a, uptrend, then this can kind of lead us into being in the overbought territory for the weekend, because we have tomorrow starts the weekend, right? And then that could be that blow off the top that Raoul's been calling. But yeah, so looking pretty good above the 50-day EMA on the 4-hour chart. I really like the setup. So I'm hoping that the hour chart actually pulls us up aggressively, and then we play into like a good weekend play for the 4-hour chart, because the 4-hour chart gives you about 2 to 3 days of forecast there. All right, now the weekly is something I definitely have been kind of beating the drum about staying above this 50-day EMA channel. And when I say above it, it's okay if we get in the center of it, it's fine, just not ending the week below the channel, which I think we're safe, guys. Anything can change, but I think we're safe there. It looks like we are slowly but surely starting to get this blue line to curl up. And again, once this does get about 75% past the stochastic RSI towards overbought, I will feel very, very good, because at that point we'll be probably right around here. And then once we get up here, I personally think we're going to stay up here for about 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, which means that we will start a leg up. So looking pretty good on the weekly for Bitcoin, that is for sure. And the others chart, which is everything outside of the top 10 in crypto and Bitcoin, kind of still doing what it was doing, waiting for Bitcoin to make that strong move up, and it will eventually follow suit. And again, once alt season is triggered, which we have to get the Bitcoin dominance pulled back down, I do think that this chart on the weekly is going to really kind of speed race back above the 50-day EMA. Then we could see some excitement in the alt market there. 2 more things I got for you guys. The liquidation areas here provided by Marty Party. He's a really good on-chain data guy here. You can see some liquidation pockets here for longs looking to get liquidated, is starting at that $81,000 mark. It's kind of heavy here between 81.2 and right at 81. So I mean that's a small little pocket there, but I mean like the starting to get a little bit condensed. But the orange lines are really where the shorts will get liquidated, right? So if you look up here, we don't have like really thick pockets for on the upside, but you can see like the range is from 80,000 to 89,000. So if they do shop real quick, they might dive down, but I that doesn't seem very likely. If it happens, I think it will be quick. They really try to grab that 82 or sorry 81.2 real quick and then come back up, but there's not enough down there, I don't think, for it to be really worth it. So we'll see if things just continually play out. That's where I'm seeing for the liquidation pockets for Bitcoin. And the last thing we will go over is the crypto bubbles. The crypto bubbles on the day for the altcoins ranked 100 to or 1 to 100 looks I would say about 60% red. Fartcoin, first time I've seen Fartcoin down, right? It's down 7.2%. Ohm is still struggling through that huge sell down, but some that stick out to me are Hype is up 3.2%, HBAR up 1.2%, Solana up 3%, Ton up 2.3%. Anything stick out to you?
The fact that like you have coins up 8% and then you have coins down 7% really makes me feel like calm. Like everything is just really calm right now. Like for instance, you got HNT up 7%, but then you got Curve down 7%, right? It all just feels like we are just
Balance.
sideways. We are calm. We are balanced, and everyone is waiting for something to happen. This is really bullish to me.
Yeah, you got Tau up 2.5%. Yeah. So one more area I want to check is the little bit more degen here. Pulse chain up 12.7%.
You don't get more degen than Pulse.
Yeah. And then you have Pengu up 12.7%. And I've been noticing people talking about Abstract on my timeline a little bit more. Have you noticed that or no?
Not really. Not on my end. I mean, I do see I follow the leaders of Abstract, the Cigar and everyone else, but not really much from other people. And I do follow a lot of Abstract guys. But I mean, I might not be seeing it.
And I think I've seen it from people outside of Abstract. Like I think Bongo posted about it and a couple others. So I think people are starting to get a little bit bullish on it. And I see why. You have Luca Nets kind of leading the way there, and people were crapping on them in the beginning. He's like one of those people that wants to prove, hey, we're gonna mop you up, is what he says. So.
Yeah, man, I love it. Loving the crypto bubbles, man. All right. Let's kind of get into that roll call here. Let's see who is here on this channel. First means everything. And apparently it looks like the Reaper came yesterday. And again, Lucky Lucky got Reaps, man. I think he wins the Reaper prize, man. I don't know if we're gonna have one, but I'm sorry, Lackey. I'm sorry, man. But all we can do is look at the first comment, and that's what gives on the chart here. So Danny boy, again, this week has been a week of the big dogs. Webdro, Danny, Webdro, and then Danny boy. Congratulations to you, my friend. And you have victory 17 on the year. My God, man, you are killing it. You and Webdro back to back here. Lackey Lukey still's 8. He's fighting for his he's 9. He's 9. He's fighting for his 10th win. He's fighting for his life out here. And the Reaper keeps reaping him. I apologize. I mean, there's nothing we can do, man. I'm sorry, but Danny, today's your day. Congratulations, man. You are first on my my thing here. So 3:30 a.m. What do you think Danny's doing up at 3:30 in the morning? I mean, we were up till like 12:30, and I felt like I was gonna die because we had a meeting that was late. And I was like, I was so tired. I don't know how Danny's up at 3:30.
That's so crazy. So at 3:30, he hit that comment, but like I think I dropped the thing pretty early in the day. Yeah, that means that all those comments got wiped out. Yeah.
All those comments got reaped out. So yeah. Danny says sorry, Lackey. First says haha, and then he says sorry, Lackey. Yeah, that's awesome. Lackey says Reaper again, and he doesn't like me. Oh, I feel so bad for Lackey, man. WebDro says seems to happen on the videos that don't get chat replays after they're done, like yesterday. What do you mean it doesn't get chat replays? No, they're getting chat replays. Like there definitely are. I was checking that. So you have to hit a button for the chat replay. It doesn't just happen automatically.
So I wonder if he means like you can't like. It seems like he got the data later, right? For example, like if someone got reaped by the Reaper, and then the next day, like that video doesn't have chat replay. You know what I mean? Like there's something that's relating to. Is that what you mean by that, WebDro? Not
well,
sure.
he's not. He's right. Yesterday's chat is not replaying. I opened the panel and on. It's still not playing. That's really weird. Dude, I think YouTube hates us. First off, they're not pushing our content at all. We have 12 viewers over there right now. I mean, something is going on. We pissed off YouTube for whatever reason, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Right?
X has always been our bread and butter. It's been our
Seriously.
big audience, but definitely we'll look into that. The
Yeah.
chat replay thing. I'm gonna try to see if I can. I'm gonna hit up ChatGPT afterwards.
I know. I can't figure it out because you're right. I mean, normally you hit open panel and the chat comes up, but it's not showing anything right now. So that sucks. That sucks. Yeah, you might be right about that. We gotta talk to YouTube, man. See what's going on with our channel here. Lackey Lukey reaped twice in a row. Oof, man. New record, he says. And they got Nabob here. Shout out to Nabob. And then we got Cheaty in his blue suit. Shout out to Cheaty. And then we got the combination of Danny Boy and Nighthawk team up. Yeah, we're number one. So shout out to you guys. And then my guy, man, super fan comes in every day, man. We appreciate you. You guys don't realize how much that helps. I mean, I think it helps. I hope it helps, but I love it, man. Thank you guys. Chief Axel is here. Shout out to Chief Axel, man. I appreciate you. Ordinals Chips is here. He said WebDro loves Danny Boy. What? Okay. Claudio is here. S from the Bells community. Shout out to S is here. Steamy J here every single day. Timer Tuber every day. GM guys and Malam Yuri bullish. I'm always, dude. I can't stop. I can't stop it, guys. Kai FX says GM guys. Kai FX says wow. Helium Network is on. Yeah, Helium is something that I'm paying attention to right now. Every day you showed the bubbles. Every day Helium is up. It is moving, and it is moving quickly.
And Helium's the project related to the phone.
It's the service.
The signal.
So
okay.
yeah, it powers the Solana phone. So. You put like a satellite or something on your house, and it like gives signal to the network, and that network decentralized. You get paid for doing that, and that's how you get the HNT token. Danny Boy says, "Yup, Reaper loves me." Danny Boy, for me, all the live comments I never see later. It's so weird. I've been spreading the word here to get more subscribers. Thanks, Kai Effect. If you guys can all just let people know, man, we go live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. But appreciate every single one of you guys who make roll call every single day. You guys, man, are absolutely amazing, even if YouTube hates us. But we appreciate every single one of you guys, man. Much love for sure. All right, let's keep it moving here. Let's get into some news. So, you know how people always say Ethereum is too expensive? Not anymore. Ethereum, to use the chain, Ethereum average network fee has plunged to just 16 cents per transaction, hitting a 5-year low, according to Sentiment. What do you think about this? It's potentially extremely cheap. I don't know how much Solana is, but I'm guessing it's getting to the point of being as cheap as Solana.
Ooh, yeah, but it's all dependent upon demand, right? So if it becomes popular again, then the price is going to go up, right? And so that's kind of sad analytic metric right now. It's just because that, like, though it's a bit like, was it inevitable to have users stop just doing the gambling DeFi on Ethereum? I think so, because not right now. Everyday people can gamble on Pump Fund because the gas is so low. But if the gas costs $10 every time, or can get crazy even higher, then you're not gonna. That's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but you got to remember too is like a lot of these other chains, these L2s, are taking up a lot of a lot of the people, which is fine because everything kind of gets finished on Ethereum anyway, right? So at the end of the day, all these L2s are, at the end of the day, they're all Ethereum. They're all use the Ethereum token as gas, right? So it's kind of like, who cares if if you're not using the layer 0, because then all the other chains living on top of it, which is on top of Ethereum, which, I mean, you call them L2s, but Ethereum at this point is looking like an L0 with some lifeless action, but then the L2s. I mean, for instance, Coinbase, their base chain is thriving right now. It's actually doing amazing. Base Network became embroiled in controversy following a tweet from its official X account that led to rise and fall of a meme coin. So that, it is what it is, right? But it's being used. It's being used daily. It's being used a lot. The base chain, is top tier in my opinion. But let's kind of get into the controversy here.
Yeah.
So, on-chain analysts revealed that a small number of wallets controlled a large portion of token supply, with one wallet holding over 25%. These wallets sold off their holdings during the price surge. Coinbase distanced itself from the token, stating that it was not official product of Coinbase or Base. The company emphasized that the tweet was part of an on-chain content experiment. Base for Everyone was the name of the coin. It feels like a rune, doesn't it? Base for Everyone.
Yeah, it does.
Surged to $17 million market cap before crashing 90% in 20 minutes. Base Forever token, the token that was created using Zora, on-chain platform that allows posts to be tokenized. Zora is an on-chain social network and an NFT platform that enables creators to tokenize their content, such as text, images, and videos, into instantly tradable ERC20 tokens. Jesse Pollock is the creator and lead of Base, which I didn't really know about. Jesse Pollock actually runs the Base chain. Coinbase is Ethereum L2 network, and he spearheaded the development of Base. So he's the one who tweeted. He came out and said Base chain is for everybody, and then somebody went and took that tweet and made it content, and made it a coin with that content. Pretty crazy. First off, that Zora is actually you're able to, tokenize content, whether that's tweets, images, anything. But it's pretty crazy. What do you think about all this?
Oh, man, it didn't look good from outside optics, but at the same time, it's people just have like this expectation that if there's a large account on crypto Twitter that seems to be, respected and these things, that like the token's just going to go up only, and yes, there's a difference between going up to 20 million and then back down to 10 and then back up to 15 and kind of sustaining. That's how it used to work with like these expectations. And I think that's why. But after this year, like, why are people expecting things like this anymore? I think that you really got to look for like a true value driver. You know what I mean? Exceptional meme to where it's viral on multiple social platforms, like the routine or something like that, right? But just because you have a big name or you have an expectation, or like the community has an expectation of you, like the community shouldn't expect like the token to go up only. And this kind of proves that. Now, rolling this into like the content experiment and stuff like that, I think that's cool. But a lot of people got wrecked from it, right? But you're risking it. You're rolling the dice on it. That's you're
so
an adult.
If you would have held it, you would have been okay. So it went from 0 to 17 million, and then plummeted down to about 500K. Right now, it's sitting around 9.4 million. So, but that, those guys who sold at 17 million, especially the one guy who had 25% of the supply, he dumped it all on everybody. But then it came back. It did come back, but it's still not anywhere near its all-time high of 17 million. But, the Coinbase account apparently tweeted this. I mean, the Base Chain account basically tweeted about this. But again, this is promoting one of the top protocols on the chain, which is Zora, right? So in a way, they really didn't do nothing wrong. They promoted their product. I don't know how I feel about this. degen's going to degen. If you buy this shit, right, you got to be open to failure, right? I mean, you're gambling 100%. This is not. I don't think base for everyone's an investment, right? Like,
Well, so that was obviously even like a crappy content thing. Like it was just a screenshot, right?
Yeah.
That said basis for everyone. So, but do you think this works for other situations? Other content? I mean, like what could be like a good piece of content? Maybe like the very first viral, like hilarious, like meme content or something, like a video or something that it could work for. And maybe that's what they're trying. But like, what? Like, this is a really shitty attempt at like basis for everyone. Like that's not. Who cares about that content? But if it was like for example, the very first video of I like turtles. You know that little kid, from like something like that. It was that's the original like upload. That's something I think could explode, and I think maybe that's what they're trying to go for.
Or that video of that guy, he's basically saying like Bitcoin for the first time has passed $100.
Oh yeah,
like that video, $100 Bitcoin. That would be awesome. I would want to get into that, if that video. But that's the thing too, is like you can go do that, then I can go take that same video from YouTube, right? Because it's on YouTube, and post it as well, right? And you can just keep doing it over and over. And which one's the real one? You don't know unless it's the official guy who posts it, right? If that guy does it, then it'll be something. Well, like, why would he do it? Like, he bought Bitcoin at less than $100. Why would he want to play in these games? But yeah, I mean, you're right. This, I don't know, but it just passed over 10 million as we're sitting here talking about it. So apparently people care. I don't know.
Yeah. It's back up though, so this thing could do numbers eventually, right?
Yep. So $41 million in volume in 24 hours. It's barely been launched for 24 hours. This is the crazy part. The creator of this earns $80,000 in fees. So it pays to be a creator. So
it's like a social
made a yearly salary.
Yeah. So it's like a social. Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like that's where maybe like people want to create good content. So this is kind of like the cyclical effect of this, maybe, it's like for good content creators or whatever that can create like funny things. So how much does he earn?
79,000. It goes up every trade. It goes up $1. So he's made 79,685.
Oh wow!
I just see the value movement. He made almost $80,000,
dude,
from launching this yesterday.
What was it called? Zora?
Zora.co is the website. It's wild. I mean, that's the thing. So yes, this was controversy, but it has people like me and you going to the site now, right? Like learning about it for the first time. So was this bad? I think it was great for a base chain. I think this was great for Jesse Pollock. I think this was great for Coinbase. It really is, because now I'm sitting here and I'm like, how can I get some of this creator earnings? I mean, you think about it though, the volume's 42 million, and the earnings is only 80K. So it's very minimal to the volume, but you're earning a piece of that every transaction.
Yeah. And to me, dude, this is pretty. I want to get like in a think tank after the show and start thinking of some content to add up there. So
is yours
guys,
I'm not able to see any content.
Yeah, so if I go to Zoro, just Zoro.co, I'm able to see some stuff.
Are you seeing these like on the opening page?
No, it's actually showing images for me.
Is it?
Here, I can share mine.
Flash. Yeah.
Where's mine at? There it is. See, you can see this looks like a wallet.
Yours is black too.
Yeah. So basis for everyone, which I think was lame, honestly, but it's at 10 million, so that's good. You see this wallet connect image. Base. So the market caps are like 200K for some of the decent ones. There's Capybara.
OnChain.
Jesse Pollock. Another one at like 400K. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that are like 6-figure market caps. Just coin it. This is I feel like this is a new meta though.
I know. It's different than Pump Fun. It takes that Pump Fun model, and they're just tokenizing content. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's something behind it, at least, right? Well, Pump Fun model, there's nothing behind the meme coins besides the meme itself. And sometimes you're like, does it have a website, right? And this is for this situation. It's kind of like if the content is good or not good enough, you can potentially make money. And this kind of is suitable for the people who launch coins all day long, right? So I mean, you can earn a little bit of the creator wallet. So
yeah, I'm gonna add something after this just for shits and giggles because I got one that I want to add.
Definitely post it. I want to see how it does. Hey,
you guys all, everybody in here better support me. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, moving along here. Real estate firm Janover bought another 80,567 SOL worth about 10 million, totaling 163,000 SOL. So these guys bought last month as well. It seems like they're buying $10 million of SOL a month so far. These guys are being looked at as the MicroStrategy or the strategy of Solana right now. These guys are I don't know what they're doing, if they got the extra funds on the side, if they're taking out loans, but they're buying up SOL $10 million, $20 million in the last 2 months.
Yeah, they are taking that route. Are they from Germany? Do you know where they're from?
I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I wonder if it's Janover or Janover maybe, or is that Jan? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's Jan. Jan's sitting.
How do you feel about this though? No, they're out of Florida. They're out of Florida.
Out of Florida?
Yeah.
Wow. I love it. I think it's awesome. I think that every country, every company should have a crypto strategy, whether it's Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, whatever. I think that the companies that do this now are the ones that are going to, one, survive long term, and two, potentially get their name out there. I mean, think about it. Real estate firm, right? What can a real estate firm do? They can tokenize real estate, right? They can be very early to something that's going to exist, and we all know it's going to exist. So this is huge. Maybe they're doing that. Maybe they're starting that, and getting a nice SOL backing is the start of that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's for me though. Like SOL, yes, it's strong. I mean, they're placing their bets here, right?
Yeah.
I hope they have some Bitcoin too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, every time Bitcoin went up, SOL went up, right? So
yeah,
I mean, Bitcoin SOL follows Bitcoin better than any other coin. I mean,
yeah, maybe
dominance wise as well.
Yeah. What's Solana at right now? Like 150?
130, 140.
Gotcha. So the upside here is probably like a safe bet if once everything's bullish is maybe 5x.
Just back to all-time highs, $20 million for these guys, right? I mean, a real estate firm, that's a lot. That's a lot, man. So it SOL's at 133 right now. And remember, it has a Canadian ETF now too. So who knows if that could push it up. But yeah. I want to give a quick shout out to my guy, Raoul. He's over, the whole Fluid token team is over in San Francisco right now, in the Draper University. So this is the team. Look at Raoul right there. Shout out to the Fluid team. Shout out to Raoul. These guys are, and the thing is, Raoul was in his hotel room this morning coding it up. He was getting our advice on something. He's out here. He's at Draper University. Building there, and he's also making sure that Fluid is top notch. They're building in his hotel room. Shout out to Raoul. Shout out to Fluid Tokens. Shout out to everybody who's in Draper University, man. Absolutely awesome. You got a lot of really amazing teams in there. Yeah, man. Shout out to you guys, man. Especially Fluid Tokens. But yeah, building. All right. So Ansem, I'm curious to your opinion on this guy. He said he's ready to buy Farcoin at 5 cents. All right, this guy. Is he just become a troll at this point? Has he just become like a shell of himself at this point?
Well, you also have to remember he's the guy behind Dog with Hat, right? So Fartcoin is a competitor to Dog with Hat, and it's really kind of leaving it in the dust here. Fartcoin is at 95 cents, so he's obviously trolling because that's a 90% drawback.
You're not going to lose that much value on something that is funny, that's actually exciting, like Farcoin.
Yeah. Do you remember the moment like Ansem started to go like viral?
I remember the
New
first
York.
time I heard his name was New York with Pups, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we were both in New York. This is the first time we actually met in person.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden, like all the pups community was at like Pub Key and they started acting like crazy pups. And I was like, what happened? And they're like, dude, Ansem just tweeted pups. And then like the price shot up for pups.
It
Like
wasn't
a
it
lot.
wasn't just Pups. It was like Pups and then the N word.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
All of a sudden
I
they're
was just
like
like,
shots, everybody shots, blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. Everybody's like buying pups on their phone or
It was like
trying to get like
11 o'clock in
pups.
the morning. It was like right after brunch, right? I think a lot of people
Yeah,
were
yeah.
coming in from the one brunch that there and yeah, that was crazy moment in crypto. I'll never forget that. That was pretty wild to see that a whole bunch of people. And then the tiny Vikings came in and they were all like 7 foot.
7 foot like Norwegian Vikings, uh Scandinavians. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, that was good times.
All right. So FunkyBit had a tweet this morning. I'm curious your opinion on this. Create a meme on Funky and get paid. Creator rewards. So this is something that we just seen Zora do. Now you're seeing FunkyBit actually do this as well. They're ready and running. So it's $250,000 seems to be the cap for the year. But what do you think, man? Was this going to entice some people to start creating a whole bunch of coins on FunkyBit?
It could, right? And I need to learn more about what the details are, but supposedly if
Yeah.
you create like a meme coin and you earn, creator rewards. So
Yeah.
just need to get more details on it. But this is actually cool if this, this is something that starts to happen because now you're rewarding people for being creative. And yeah, that was kind of the case. But with like Pump Fun and stuff, but at the same time,
Yeah.
there's just so much of a market there that's just like volume and all that stuff. I think with the content stuff though, it's more than just a token ticker. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, you create like a X account and you put like good memes, but like if it starts as like a good content meme, I think that's different. We're gonna see like
Yeah.
if this can have some longevity. But I will say this: whenever there's a new meta, you get in early on that new meta, you do well, even if the new meta
100%.
fades, so.
Yep. The people who got in the AI stuff, when that was the new meta in September, made out like bandits in December, January, right? Same thing with Pump
Absolutely.
Fun. You got in Pump Fun in April, May, June of last year. You made out historically well, like insanely well. So if Zora can be that, I mean, Zora can be pretty big in a FunkyBit as well. Who knows? I mean, you got to remember, FunkyBit and Odin are really kind of pushing fast-paced runes, right? So we do know that Odin is on ICP and FunkyBit is on base. FunkyBit will be on Arch when Arch launches in give or take the summer. But we will see with that. But the next thing here is Odin.Fun. And we're back the road to Valhalla. We do know that Odin.Fun was hacked last week. Well, it wasn't Odin.Fun. It was a couple accounts on Odin.Fun through a third-party smart contract. Bob's account was one of those. Bob held 6% of Odin Dog, Odin Cat, so on and so on. All the very first tokens that he created. The Bob tokens, we were calling them for the longest time. Bob is no longer a holder of those tokens because that money was drained and withdrawn. But we see Odin.Fun is back. Odin Ape is the number one coin by far now. Up
By
about
far.
20 by like 16%. Yeah, I mean Odin Ape 6.9, Odin Dog is 5.7. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really taking a lead there. Odin Gold right there, Satoshi. And then you have, the Sparks 144, Super X 89, Ghost Node 92. So yeah, so it's looking pretty crazy over here. What do you think about day one? How do you feel about Odin coming back one? Odin Dog. I mean, it's up, 51% in 24 hours here. So it's doing really
Yeah.
well on the 24-hour. But how do you feel about Odin so far and that it's back?
I think Odin Dog gets crowned king again, but I think
Yeah.
it might take a little bit more time. And Odin Ape was number one a couple other instances in the past couple
Was it?
weeks.
Okay.
Anything that challenges Odin Dog, the Odin Dog eventually gets back up there, and I expect the same thing here. I think the bounce back is pretty solid. I gotta say, yes, these market caps aren't what they were but they aren't that far off from them either. Like
Yeah.
I think Odin Ape might have been $8 million. Odin Dog might have been 7. So the bounce back here is promising. And I do think Bob is. We all know Bob's a really intelligent person. He knows that the security part just needs to be like really tightened up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it shows that he has some loyals. I'll tell you that.
100%, man. 100%. So shout out to Bob. Shout out. I'm rooting for Bob. I really am. I think he's a great person. I think he's a great builder. And this was just a minor setback. I mean, you gotta remember, Ethereum had a setback, right? When I first launched it. That's why we have Ethereum Classic. So these things happen. And I think that, but this is good though for the long term. I'm glad it happened now and not when there's $100 million in liquidity over here, right? Because that would be really bad. It would probably make a lot of the bigger news sites, but the fact that this is kind of swept under the rug, it's quiet, it's up, it's live. You have tokens up 100%, some of them. I mean, 191% for Odin Ape, 33% for BitCat, Satoshi up 33%, Odin Gold up 55%. So you're seeing a lot of winners, the people who were able to buy at that 3 o'clock yesterday, 3 o'clock Eastern. Sparks up 55, Peppa Odin's up 110%. Super X up 50. So you are seeing a lot of gains over the 24 hours. So it's pretty good. Congratulations, Bob. I'm happy for you, man. And yeah. But what do you think about Andrew, one of the leads over at FunkyBit, coming out yesterday and saying, Odin Dog, he tweeted, what a ride. He said up 120%, down 60%, up 30%. Do you think there's a
Rivalry?
war, potentially a rivalry, way better word, between FunkyBit and Odin right now?
Ooh, I wouldn't call it a war. That's probably just some fun,
Yeah.
as of now, But I will say this, though, in a sense, I know that they are competitors, right? We all know that. They all want to earn more fees than the other side. But I think community-wise, right? Like, we should be wanting, some of the successful runes on Odin to also be on FunkyBit and vice versa.
Yeah.
FunkyBit to be on Odin. Because then you have something similar to a little bit. The difference would be obviously not the exact same network, but like if like some EVM chains and stuff, they have, especially the chain, they have multiple dexes that have the similar tokens. But I just think that it's good, right? So we have Pep Odins that put liquidity on FunkyBit. I just kind of was like, hey, Sparks, like, when are you going to put liquidity on FunkyBit? And they said they're actually in the process right now to add liquidity to FunkyBit. So that's 2 runes that have bridged some of their supply off of Odin and now adding supply to FunkyBit. Now there's 2 different places you can buy both of these runes that had success on 2 different platforms. And we already know OGs are coming to Odin. There's OGs that are on FunkyBit. The more of these, the better, in my opinion, because now branding happens. People can buy them in different comfortable environments, whichever ones they like. And then when we're in a really bullish environment, that's when that starts to kick in, I think, and the chain reaction happens. People are like, well, liquidity is split right now. And they're thinking that because we are in bearish times. We were in bearish times. And so when you're like that, it's like a desert. You're just like, I need water. Like, same thing with liquidity, right? And so, but when it's bullish and when there's abundance of water or liquidity, I should say, that's whenever these tokens thrive.
100%, man. So I'm gonna make you pick a winner here, long term. Who's the winner long term?
Oh man, don't
Odin
do that.
or Funky? Yeah, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. I want to hear it. If you have to pick a winner, your life depends on it. Who are you gonna pick? And feel free to tell me to F off. I understand if you don't want to pick a winner, but
oh yeah, believe me, I tell you that all the time. Not just kidding. But I will say this: there's a little nuanced answer to this. So, ICP has a big opportunity right here. Not just them, but support of Odin and what Bob's trying to build with his Valhalla chain or layer environment, whatever you want to call it. If that happens, BeLife really supercharges their marketing, and there's other projects that are built within what Bob is creating. That makes a difference because I think they can have a lot of success there.
Yeah.
Now the FunkyBit part, the reason why they could have the edge is because of Arch Network. There's a lot of investment going into Arch. There's one firm that has dedicated to the entire ecosystem, funding the entire ecosystem. And so Arch has a lot of hype. So It could be a clash of the titans if that first scenario happens, and then we think Arch is going to have that, and I think it would be a really close race. But I'm not going to pick one because I honestly don't know. But if that doesn't happen, the support doesn't happen, I do think like FunkyBit has the edge because of Arch. But Bob really needs to communicate that with the ICP. What's the project that helps a lot with the bridging with ICP and starts with a D?
Definity,
Omnity network as well. Those kind of projects help with what he's trying to build there. Then it could be a clash of the titans, which would be good for everybody that's in the Bitcoin ecosystem.
100%, man. I couldn't agree more. And to me, the winner is going to be the team with the most funding in these products, right? I think the more funding you have, you're going to be a winner. And right now, I think Odin has more funding. I think Odin has B Life. They got Udi. They got so on and so on. So much more funding than FunkyBit. But hey, who knows? FunkyBit can get a couple $1 million next week, and then my opinion changes, right? But I'm gonna say the winner is the team with the most funding, with the most investment in that product. And that's what's going to win. And right now, if I had to pick a winner, I would say Odin. But just for the fact of we know that Odin has funding, and we know that FunkyBit is trying to get funding. So
yeah, well, they're supposedly in the process of it. So if that happens, you're right. It would change the game. But yes, funding matters a lot because funding can go into things. I will say this: being a user of both, I had some expectation of liquidity leaving Odin, going into FunkyBit. The opposite might have happened, or one thing I've noticed is some of these more popular tokens on FunkyBit has kind of drawn back a little bit here.
Yeah.
Right. And I know the support has come back up for Odin to try to get them back up. So it's a little unfair to say because you have to drive that back up a little bit, right? But we'll see. I think really the next 2 weeks is going to show some good competition because they are in the process of getting funding and stuff like that. And remember, they're going to be the first meme pad that's going to be launching on Arch Network. Arch Network thrives, then they thrive.
Yeah, 100%. But now you got to be thinking, right? Who's going to be the first people to create a Zora clone, right? Because it's always the next thing, and you can't go backwards, right? We got to see who's going to add in the content creation, tokenization of it. Is it going to be Odin? Is it going to be FunkyBit? But and that's one thing about my point with the funding. It's like you got to keep going to the next thing, and right now it's looking like it's tokenizing content, and we'll see who gets to that first. But I want to shout out my boy MoChain here. Appreciate you so much, man. $12 in euro. Really, that's love, man. He said, my way of supporting the channel, sometimes shilling ICP, the true on-chain blockchain. Hey, feel free, bro. Feel free to shill whatever you want, ever. We don't really care. That's fine with us. But really appreciate you, MoChain. Thank you so much, man. I'm going to jump up in the comments here. MoChain says, my greetings to the on-chain boys. Greetings to you, my brother.
Hey.
He says, good news. Odin is back hard. KaiFX says that's good for t-shirt and merch graphics. Yeah, for sure.
The content,
Danny Boy,
Zora, I think is what I meant.
Yeah. Danny Boy says I hate Solana. Yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. I'm not a big fan of it at all. Danny Boy says screw Ansem too. Yeah, I agree. MoChain says Odin could easily support ETH, Sol, and ICP if they want to easily. It will be hard to compete with Odin because they use chain key ICP tech. Could you see that?
True.
Could you potentially adding all these other networks in Odin?
We already know that from interviewing Bob that's part of his strategy is to eventually let Solana users use Sol to purchase tokens and stuff like that, right? I just think he needs to he wants to probably get to, he has a list of priorities, right? OG tokens were right there, and then that happened, and so now we're kind of like, okay, he probably wants to feel comfortable. You get OG coins on there next probably, and then maybe he does the cross chain stuff. But I will say this to MoChain, ICP in my opinion does have powerful tech, and a lot of people say, throw that saying around a lot. Oh, it has amazing tech. ICP does. Their problem has always been marketing, right? Consistent marketing. But they have an opportunity here, and I've said this several times, because of being, a servicer of Bitcoin tokens and assets. So we'll see if Dominic and his team and Bob and all them really take advantage of it, because we know Bob wants to take advantage. As much as he wants the Bitcoin ecosystem to thrive, we know his roots in ICP, and he wants to help the ICP community as well. So we'll see if that happens.
Bob's a tech guy, and he loves the best tech. And everyone, if you ask anybody who's in tech, so ICP is one of the best tech, but they have terrible marketing. Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if Bob changes that. But Danny says, I think, and I was waiting for Danny's response. I was like, Danny's gonna come up with this amazing response, and he goes, I don't know why I commented. I think. Shout out to Danny. MoChain has a question for you because I haven't really played with Funky. I know Danny has, and you have. Danny, I would love your opinion on this as well. But MoChain says, I haven't used Funky. How is the user experience? How are you feeling with user experience? You feel like it's like Odin?
You got to get used to it, especially if you were using Odin before. Yeah. I do think Odin has more data availability, like to your in a UX type of way. For example, like holder count needs to be added, like total holder count needs to be added. You don't have the history. You don't even have the option of looking at like account history purchases, like for other accounts. I mean, because I think on Odin you can make it that private, right? You can make your purchase history private to everybody else. No? Okay. So anyways, but it's not even there on the but you do see what coins they hold, just not how many. On Funky.
Gotcha.
So but these are features I think that Funky's going to add because people have given them feedback, right? And remember, this is just a very, very beta version. The speed is really quick, just as quick as Odin, honestly, in terms of purchasing and stuff. And so there's some features they just need to add. And then eventually, obviously, the big advantage Odin has right now is the mobile access because Funky does not have mobile yet. Supposedly that's going to happen. I know that's pretty much, so that's going to happen after, I guess, this raise is done or whatever, right? So we'll see.
Yep. MoChain says the Solana subnet is not yet live yet. I'm guessing he's talking about the
ICP subnet
coming.
No,
ICP subnet. Okay, gotcha. Courtney Johnson says, "Peace, fellas. Just getting on. Yo. Did you already talk about the Babylon and Sui partnership? I didn't even have that. Did you see that, Courtney? Man, you are you need to join our research team, man, because I totally missed that.
Yeah, that's a good one, Courtney. I did briefly see it. I just didn't want to talk about it until I dove deeper into it. So yeah, well, I didn't see the Sui part. I saw Babylon unstaking this happened or it's about to happen. It's like $2.4 billion worth of unstaking.
They were unstaking on an exchange. It wasn't like a transaction. It was like on some exchange they were unstaking. So I saw that too, but I didn't want to talk about something I didn't really know about. But the way it looked like they weren't really doing anything on chain. It seemed like it was all on some exchange somewhere they were unstaking.
Yeah, so I can read this headline. It says Babylon TVL drops 32% after 1.26 billion. So I got that wrong. Bitcoin unstaked, massive unstaking of about 15,000 Bitcoin from Babylon, led by a single wallet. TVL impact went from 4 billion to 2.68 billion. Lombard transition,
right?
Yeah, they do. They're going to be releasing their mainnet, I think, eventually. And everybody that's staked, I believe, is going to be getting the Babylon token.
Okay,
I think so.
The baby token. That's what they named it. Baby. Yeah, man. But Danny says like Funky needs more volume. Never used Odin. Yeah, but I think that's our show today, guys. Really appreciate you guys. No Arch Thursday this week. They'll be back next week. We'll have them on. They got some huge updates for us. But yeah, I think that's our show for today.
Yep. And we appreciate each and every one of you guys. 201 people today. A little bit slower, but no big deal. You guys, 201 people showed up, and that's not including some of our other channels like Rumble and Abstract as well. So we appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you guys could check out our partners, man, we greatly appreciate it. As they are kind of the second half of you guys that help us do this, allow us to do this. Emblem Vault is going to be the interoperability tool to allow you to jump your ordinal, your Bitcoin Frog, your node monk from Bitcoin Layer 1 to Merlin Chain to Abstract. Abstract supposedly really wants ordinals, Base, Arbitrum, and eventually Solana. And you're going to be able to use their Agent Hustle their AI agent hustle, which he's going to be able to vault those ordinals eventually for you. Right now, he's only on the Solana chain, but they're going to be integrating Bitcoin, and he's going to be able to help you guys with that. Don't forget about their Bitcoin rune. That's going to be a part of their TGE in September. You can actually participate in a pre-sale environment on OpenSea if you search Emblem Founder Vault Keys. And if you purchase those during September TGE, they'll give you step-by-step instructions on how to get those runes into your Bitcoin wallet. You can learn all about this at emblem.vision. And BetBTC is the predictions marketplace of the Bitcoin ecosystem. All you need is a Bitcoin supported wallet and some Bitcoin and 6 Bitcoin blocks, and you can start placing bets in their markets. Right now, they have their Blitz, 10-minute Blitz markets where you can long or short Bitcoin, BNB, or Solana. You get 10 minutes to lock in that price, and then you choose up or down, and then additional 10 minutes to see if you won. Exciting stuff. But they're also going to have Bet with Friends, which is a private group setting that you can do like Super Bowl bets or yearly bets or something like that, as well as create your own markets, which you can earn up to 1% eventually. Those features will be added. You can go to betbtc.win to learn more there. And Artura Finance is the perps and leverage decks of the Bitcoin ecosystem. We talked about them earlier during the Bitcoin price action. They're going to be launching on Hemi Bitcoin Layer 2, which is backed by Binance Labs. You're going to be able to trade synthetic Bitcoin tokens like Sats, Ordi, Dog Go to the Moon, Billion Dollar Cat, possibly some of these other runes that are popular on these main coin launchpads if they get to a certain market cap, like Odin Dog or Funky, Grandmaster Funk or Funky Monkey, stuff like that. But you're going to be able to trade XRP, Tau, other tokens outside of the Bitcoin ecosystem as well. Go to Artura.finance today to learn more about what they're going to offer, because they're going to have passive income available as well by staking in their liquidity staking vaults there. Artura.finance is the place to go, and we'll update you guys as soon as we get the word on when their Hemi mainnet launch will be. And then Fluid Tokens. These guys are in Cali right now at Draper University, constantly building. They're the UTXO wizard devs, started on Cardano, still on Cardano, but building on Bitcoin, making huge waves on Bitcoin. First to offer staking vaults on Bitcoin Layer 1. They have multiple staking vaults right now, guys. And if you are a founder of a ordinal collection, or you etched a rune with an established community and you would like a staking vault created for you, head over to their Discord. They have a team ready to answer all your questions. They'll get you set up. And don't forget their Aquarium Bridge and DEX availability is going to be coming very soon, to where you can actually bridge their rune, which is FLDT rune, and their Cardano token, because it's going to be one-to-one back and forth. And they're going to have a DEX on that bridge as well, so you can actually go into ADA, or possibly they'll be stable by that point on Cardano, but we will let you guys know when that happens. Visit fluidtokens.com to learn more, and they're going to have an awesome airdrop tool, guys. We've been messing with it, so look out for that. All right, and then Merlin Chain is your #1 scaling solution for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. If you are a builder on Bitcoin Layer 1 and you want your protocol to be a bit more flexible, build on Merlin Chain. They have great builder support there. Also, if you are a retail user and you want to swap for Dog Go to the Moon, go to merlinswap.org and you can swap, as they have a strong liquidity pool for Dog there. Also, don't forget, you can help secure the chain with a proof of stake. If you have Merlin Chain tokens, you can earn 15% APR, and they're going to be adding Bitcoin to that as well. And lastly, don't forget, they're going to have their Wizard AI 0.3 version available very soon for you guys to help you kind of navigate through Merlin Chain with their Explorer, and eventually help you guys kind of maybe find some good positioning with trading and stuff like that as well. Lastly, but not least, don't forget about our integrated partners in Foxy AI, building the metaverse on Bitcoin, called the Bitverse, and their first-person shooter game called Cypher Striker, which Shizzy's gonna co-host this next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern with the Foxy guys there. Should be fun. Everybody's invited. All you need is a supported wallet, all the Bitcoin wallets, and then I believe MetaMask and maybe Phantom. And then you pick a clan, and then you go at it for about 45 minutes. Very, very fun time. Make sure you join. And then Ordinal Hive is the aggregator ordinal marketplace for Bitcoin Layer 1 and Layer 2. The cheapest ordinals around will be on Ordinal Hive, guys. And don't forget to use their mempool tools, to where you can actually grab something that someone mispriced, fat fingered, or whatever. You can take advantage of that. And we thank you so much for taking a look at our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. Just want to shout out my boy Kai Effect with a $10 super chat. Really appreciate you guys, man. Absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much. Your support means everything. MoChain, Kai Effect, Danny, Ordinals Chips, all you guys here hanging out with us at the end here. Courtney Johnson, 100%, man. I appreciate all you guys. Much love. But if you guys would have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChain Revolution, .io. It's one of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and code up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, we have the #1 VPN that I use. It is Nord. There's free ones out there, but I highly recommend you guys getting a VPN, guys. I love Nord. It's $3 a month. I think I pay $36 for the year. Guys, get a VPN. Go get a VPN. If you want to use our link here, you get 70% off. I think it's like $10, but if you use our link, it's $3. And definitely get it for the year if you can. $36. Highly recommend it. And if you guys are going to Bitcoin at 2025 in Vegas, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. But do not wait until next year to get your tickets. Get them as soon as possible and get them through us. Everything is here at OnChain Revolution.io. If you need merch for that event or any event, click our store tab. It takes you through our third-party Shopify, and you guys can look at some of the best merch. We're going to be adding merch really soon. We're going to be taking down some of the Ordinal stuff as well. So if you do have an Ordinals t-shirt or an Ordinal Revolution hat, you guys are going to be considered OGs, legends, but do not wait. Get them as soon as possible. And so we'll probably take them down probably May. I think May 1st we'll take them down. And but you guys have until then to get them. Appreciate you guys at least just checking out our site here. It means a lot to us. And guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. And until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.